What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we're here at the Nerd Castle with the next episode of Mountain Blade Warband, where I've gotten bored. I was sitting around twiddling and training troops, and I was like, you know what, forget this. Vagears was going to declare on us because we had some complaint from them about something. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. The complaint box, always full around here at the Nerd Castle, especially when it comes to Mountain Blade factions. Yeroglyph keeps sending me nasty messages. I don't think the Nords are really literate. All they do is kind of draw crude pictures and then put them in the box. But anyways, it's always full, and so being bored, I think I decided just to go ahead and declare on the Kyrgyz because we need to clean them up anyways. I'm not going to send out the call for anybody to... I'm not going to send out the call at the moment for anybody to join the campaign to attack anything because we need to get rid of their first wave of lords. They are currently at war with the Sarranids, but I think they're going to tire themselves out against the Sarranids. I'm not sure. I can't guarantee that's the way it's going to go down, but in this episode we're going to be fighting off. You guys know at the beginning of every single campaign, there's this big kind of, I suppose, spotting of battles. Or there's a little bit of a flecking of battles all over the map the second that a war is declared, and then after you've wiped out all your enemies, then you get to go through and handle all of the invasionary tactics. And so that's what we're going to do in this episode, is we're going to handle all of these defensive actions to both capture lords and run them out of our lands. I've brought an entire cavalry army, 120 guys that are all cavalry, everything from slave crushers to Swadian knights. Basically, I've got a whole garrison right now full of Swadian men-at-arms, so the second that these guys start getting killed, we should be able to replace them fairly easily. I missed that swipe right there, which is disappointing. I should be able to get somebody riding through that huge crowd right there, though it's kind of like sticking a bucket underwater and not coming up dry, if you know what I mean. It's unlikely. How did I only do 36 to that guy? I caught him right in the face. There we go, I got him on the second pass around. He insults me with his survival. I hate it when I slash a guy and he doesn't spurt blood everywhere and he doesn't just fall over. We have a job to do right now and he's making me look like I'm doing it very inefficiently. There's one thing I know, it's that I want to make sure that I maintain a good face in front of all of my enemies. I want to make sure that they all know that if you mess with the Nerd Kingdom, bad things happen. And so right now you can see bad things happening all over the place, as denoted by the bright green text scrolling down at the bottom left corner. That guy has a heavily armored horsey that I wasn't quite able to penetrate the way that I would want to. But since the blade didn't get through, oh yeah, I think I got 2 messages this week. It was kind of out of nowhere. But anyways, I got 2 messages just sort of randomly with people asking for just a second. They wanted to look at what my weapon is. It's a Masterwork Cavalry Saber, I believe, or it's a Masterwork Katana or something. Anyways, it's only got slash. It can't stab and you can't do anything else with it. You can only slash with it, but it's got 34 slashing or 34 cutting damage, I think is what it says it has. That's what it is, 34 cutting damage. It's a Masterwork Step Saber or something like that. I'll show a picture of it in just a second so that the people that had asked can see what weapon I've been using during the course of this playthrough. I haven't seen anything better so far. You can't take a Bastard Sword, but you take a pretty heavy penalty on using it one-handed. One guy left, of course, they're going to make me fight one guy. This happens every single time, and I'm not, sure why the game does it so often where, hey, let's cut the battle off right here and then just leave one guy standing so that you have to ride all the way across the battlefield to get there. At least it'll let you know who in your troops has the fastest of horsies, and it would be that guy right now. Although, to be fair, all the other guys were busy tripping over each other, so there is, they were straight tripping. That is a problem. This guy's about to get steamrolled, and so down he goes, right? Are you gonna die? Hurry up and die. Oh, how dare you survive. There we go. You guys are embarrassing me right now. It's not just the helmets either. That helmet right there, I would not be caught dead out in public with that helmet on. It's definitely got a half Gondorian thing going. It's just nope, absolutely not. We need better fashion sense than this if we're gonna roll out on the battlefield. We rescue Tribidan, who's working for somebody right now. I don't know. We'll take the 2 captives. We'll take the men-at-arms so that we can level them up along the way. I did bring a bunch of men-at-arms right now who aren't quite leveled up, just so that we could start replacing some of our knights through the battles we're going to be fighting down here. Oh, really? Right after I buy some armor, they actually drop. That's a pretty good piece of armor. 46 and 11 for a battle drop is rare. You don't typically see stuff like that. Let me run through and make sure that's not better than his Lamellar, because I get the feeling it may be. 48-13. Oh, really? His Lamellar is better, and damn is it ugly. Oh, well. What about yours? He's got 48-16, Mameluki male. Ornamenter, Borcha. I know for a fact they're pretty strapped out. He's got that. So actually, we may just be able to use it for trade fodder. Whatever. That's cool. I don't mind that. I pick up the good stuff when I can. Now we need to ride around down here and mess up some of these armies. Who is that? Oh, I thought it said 580 for a second. I was like, nope. Sorry, man. I don't like you that much. We're friends and all. I helped you in the last battle, but this time I have to walk away. I'm going to be that friend. In real life, you never want to be that guy, though. In the video game, it's pragmatic to be as such, but that guy in real life, I could think of maybe like 4 people on one hand that I would get my ass kicked outnumbered with and just be like, well, looks like we're going to the hospital tonight, man. It's nice knowing you. I'll see you when we wake up. But everybody else, not really. I'd be like, well, it looks like you got way more enemies. Sucks to be you. Later! Gotta be pretty good friends for me to jump into an outnumbered battle with you. But I think that goes without saying. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Not sure I'm interested in getting yoked tonight. Waking up in a gutter or anything. You know, just those things that I didn't expect to be doing this evening. And yet they have been placed in front of me. God, can you guys kill somebody? For the love of God, like, why am I losing so many troops to, like, such a low-tier army? Like, die. Die already. I really should not be losing this many. It's because they set up on a hill. They got, like... And they did it on accident, too. It's not like they did it on purpose. They just kind of got sacked on a hill. Because I'm a bad tactician. I gave the charge order straight out of the gate. It's okay, though. Damn it. You stop moving, too. Why is it that my enemies always have to move? Especially in first-person shooters. Just sit there and let me shoot you in the face. Just make the game easy for me. Just stand there. Stand there. 10 paces. I will walk away. You will continue standing. You will not fire back. And then once we get there, it'll be okay. I'll shoot you in the face, and everything will be awesome. It'll be my favorite game ever. But if you shoot back, worst game ever. I hate it. That guy's taking a nap on the back. Oh, he disappeared. There was a guy taking a nap on the back of his horse. Just kind of reclining for a brief moment, although with that large thingy sticking up, it feels like that would be really, really uncomfortable. How did we come? Oh, he's captured a bunch of dudes, so it doesn't really matter how we came out on that one. We're going to be able to replace just about everything we could ever want right here. I believe we should swing through here, and let's see exactly... He is veteran footman. We'll capture the master archers. I think... We don't have a whole lot of things here that I want. I want cavalry, and unfortunately, everything he has here is just kind of like buku infantry. I suppose I'll take veteran crossbowmen if we got nothing else. Because we did lose a couple of sharpshooters in one of these battles, so I'll stick with what I have. We'll replenish some of our knights. That's why I brought these men-at-arms, is so that as we lose knights, they'll slowly replenish them. An iron mace might be interesting to swap out for a little bit, play around with that. Oh, it's two-handed. I was hoping that was the one-handed variant. Unfortunately, an elite scimitar. I bet if you could get a masterwork version of that bad boy right there, it would actually be really, really good. I was looking for a Mamler. I'm sorry, I was looking for a Huskarl shield in the previous episode, too. I know they're going to hit Tolga. I have a distinct feeling that Tolga is going to be the first target that they're going to come after super hardcore. So I'm going to ride around. I'm going to help Gurlat out in his lands. I don't think they'll hit anything else. Just about everything else has at least 400 units in it. So I don't see any way that they're going to be coming at us like Midland or anything. They should be kind of trying to pick around the edges. Just give it a little bit of work. And we'll roll these guys. And then once we've rolled enough people... We'll think about going back to Qdan, grabbing our siege troops, and then we'll come back down. We'll try and get Tolbuk, I think. Tolbuk is looking pretty delicious right now, just because it's like a nasty little purple mole in the middle of our otherwise pristine red lands, and so I kind of want it gone. And then we will try and wipe out this faction so that they're no longer a problem for us. He's running with a pretty good grip of cavalry. We should also be expecting to get hit by crossbows throughout the course of this battle. We've unfortunately got a traffic jam going on right here, which is going to limit the effect. And yeah... God, these guys all have really high-tier troops. They must not have been fighting recently, but it's weird because I waited a good week or two after the Saranids declared war on them in the hopes that they would actually diminish all of their high-tier troops against the wall of Saranid bodies, but unfortunately it didn't happen. They're still running around with really, really high-tier armies, and so we are going to have to do kind of this early game routine where we wipe out all of their elite stuff, and then eventually when they're running around with those peasant armies, as we've seen before, we'll go through and sweep all their lands before they can reinforce and do anything about it. I don't feel like being reinforced at the moment. I feel like being flaccid. Just don't reinforce, ever. Don't reinforce anything while I'm trying to be out here in the middle of the battlefield, handling my biz. And are we done here yet? Come on, guys. Like, there's one guy right now. These battles are sort of menial at this point, to the extent that I find them to be a little bit boring. I kind of just want to get them over with. So we freed Emir Delinard. Alright, well, good deed's a good deed, I suppose. We'll take the Mamluk, and we'll take the Man-at-Arms, and then everybody else can just go free and fly wherever they want to go. Be free, noble elite infantry! Spread your wings and fly. You are no longer a captive. A captive no longer. Gurlad's got 172. Let's go ahead and check on Maliurg right now and see what they got chilling over here. Sanjar Khan has 422 men. Oh, he has 420 men out of 422. Not bad. Not bad. So he will more than likely... He's just got Lancers. Lancers are really, really terrible, so I'm not completely and totally worried about that. I don't think he'll actually attack anything. He can raid the villages. Kyrgyz offer you a peace agreement. We reject it. Hell no. This is going to be the final war to end all wars, assuming that we don't get attacked from multiple directions. We've got Lazalit right there. I think with the two of us, we could take him. Oh, God, don't turn around like that, dude. What are you doing? Turning on a dime. We're going to wait here. We'll just see what happens. Oh, caught him right there. I'm actually going to reinforce and attack right here, just to make sure that it's 86 versus 119. It should be okay. This guy may have a ton of Mamluks, though, because he's a Saranid. And I wasn't planning on fighting a Saranid right now, but he must be a traitor, and traitors must be expunged. You can never allow traitors in your midst. I actually don't like the system. I hope they remove it for Bannerlord, where lords defect so frequently. That's one of the big changes that I would love to see in Bannerlord, is just lords should be a lot more faithful. Like, it didn't... I don't know. I don't feel like people were very traitorous. I mean, they were traitorous back in the day, but it was a lot more limited. Like, you don't see... For example, as the game is working right now, every single lord is from a different faction at this point. Everyone is sold out. And so... I sort of feel like they should probably amend that system and make it a bit more severe. Make it a lot worse when a lord defects, but make it preventable and make it one of those things that only happens if you really screw up as a lord and you really kind of mess somebody up. Or mess somebody's relation up terribly, like you go over to their house and, you know, beat up their wife or something. I don't know what it would take for somebody. That would make me defect. I would defect in a heartbeat if that happened. I'd be like, nope, I'm not on your side anymore, king asshole. You are now a foe of the House Freeman. I think this should be kind of cleared out really shortly. See if I can get a couple slashes off right here, cause the rest of route. I haven't seen any red letters along the way, which is a really, really good thing. I don't want to have any scarlet letters flying around because that tends to be bad for everybody involved. I do need to get married. I think I was planning on marrying Lazalit, actually, was my big plan. Then I was supposed to be doing some kind of research that I forgot to do. So you guys, it's like homework time. Anytime I have homework in a series, I forget to do it. It's just like school. Forget to do my homework all the time. Somebody's just like, we should probably do that lab this week, man. Like, we had a lab? And he's like, yeah, you assigned it 2 hours ago. I'm like, oh, well, I had no idea. And now it's just one of those things I'm never going to have to deal with ever again because I'm graduating. By the time you guys see this, tomorrow's my graduation day. Bright and early in the morning. I got to go and put on my stole and all of that stuff. But anyways, I got to put on a stole and the ridiculously unflattering robe and a Saranid arming sword. 28, that's allowed to be, you can use it for piercing. Piercing is nice because it doesn't take into account armor after a certain constraint is lifted. I forget which one, but there's a reason that, for example, like Morning Stars in this game that have 30 damage that's all piercing are way, way better. In fact, if I could find a Morning Star right now, I think I would swap out for it. Let's have a look around the arms merchants, and if we can find one, I may finally switch my weapon out. A Masterwork Morning Star would be what I was looking for. Let's sell off some of these goodies over here. Make a little bit of extra cash. We'll also try and refuel with a little bit of food while we're out here. Want to make sure we have lots of variability to keep morale high. People have questioned me about that and been like, so how are you keeping your morale up? Because my troops keep defecting and stuff. I'm like, oh, well, it's because, first and foremost, bad quality control. Bad quality control among your troops. They're going to have all kinds of defects. But anyways, on a secondary stance, you want to make sure that you have a lot of different types of food. That's not something that I knew coming into this playthrough. I mean, I would be willing to bet that I knew it at some point, but it had been a while since I had played the game when I decided to boot this series back up. And so every type of food that you have that's different. So if you've got grain, you've got, let's say you've got grain, you've got like lettuce or cabbage, you've got cheese, and you've got beef. Those 4 different types, you get a +4 or like a +5 to your morale for each variant type of food. And so you want to, that's why you always see me riding all over the map trying to find different types of food. It's because it helps you keep your morale up by a huge leaps and bounds. You can have massive armies and not have to worry about them defecting so long as you've got cheese, meat, and cabbages and, you know, grain all stacked up on the sides. However, if you find yourself with an inventory full of 500 different types of bread, probably not going to help you much. I don't think I got his horse. I was aiming pretty high right there, but I'll accept the referee's decision, even though I don't like it because I'm a good sport. And I understand that the referee has a hard job. Being a referee sucks. I was an umpire for a little while back after. What happens is a lot of people play baseball, and then you umpire for a while after that, like once you stop playing. Umping is really, really rough. There's always that asshole in the crowd that's just like, "Meh, that wasn't a strike." And you're like, just let it go. Do you really care that much? Like, no, my 8-year-old totally didn't swing at that. I'm a lot closer than you, man. You're like 5 stories up on some bleachers. Are you sure you didn't see this as well as I did? But anyways, umping is one of those jobs where everybody wants to say they can do it better than you. And then you're like, all right, go ahead. And then they're just like, oh, I'm calling balls and stuff when they don't even know what they're talking about. Just looking foolish. It's like, ah. That happened to a comedian one time where somebody was heckling him and he called him up on stage. Somebody was heckling the comedian. He called him up on stage to do his own comedy bit. And he'd be like, you think you could do what I do? And the guy got up there and totally choked. He was like sweating himself inside out. It was hilarious. I love it when people get put on the spot like that. More lessons in life need to be taught in such a fashion. Just let people know that things are more difficult than they think they are. I'm trying to think if anybody's ever done that to me. I had a teacher that used to really put me on the spot about things all the time. Like, he really thought it was hilarious. What battle am I fighting right now? I'm a little bit... Who am I fighting against? This better not be the Kings. I thought I saw a 90, a 90, and a 140. So this might be a large battle, but I'm hoping it's not a battle against the King. Otherwise, this could actually be really, really terrible. And they're skirmishing. Let's get rid of that archer. And that guy. Everybody, we're just going to ride in circles, slashing away. Apparently we hit a shield right there. Ow! This is a no javelin zone, man. No javelin zone. My kidneys, no javelin zone. That liver, no javelin zone. Please stop throwing those. This is not the time for anything to be flying from your hand. I see you over there in the corner with a wrist rocket. Who brings a wrist rocket to a medieval battle? Seriously? That's going to leave a welt. It's not okay. This game needs a paintball mod where you just like have giant paintball battles. That's what it needs. I bet there is one. Almost everything you could ever think of being invented in this game already exists. Every time I say that a certain mod should exist and then I look it up on ModDB, it's there. You're like, well, somebody else had the idea. I guess I must just be slow. Other people put out the mod like 4 years ago. Oh no. This could have really, really terrible repercussions for me. Okay, bog down. Well, I think I'm going to let my troops handle the battle. They seem to be doing alright, and they're like, yeah, sure, don't help with any of the heavy lifting. Well, it's not that much heavy lifting. I mean, you're swinging a weapon. Agreed. Swinging a weapon one-handed for hours at a time, probably pretty tiring. But does it count as heavy lifting? Heavy swinging, possibly. I will agree with you there. But I think we're really just kind of arguing terminology at this point. Jump over the heads of everybody right there. What's cool is you can crowd surf. So, for example, it won't let you fall through your own troops. So if you actually do that right there, you can actually glide down a hill like you've got kind of, I don't know, some kind of hang glider or something going for you. Yeah, that's what this game needs, hang glider battles. Oh, that'd be so awesome. And it's Lagerson Noyan. Okay, so we're not going against... I think we're probably fighting maybe 3 lords right now. This is what happens when I talk too much and then I don't pay attention. I end up in battles that I have no idea if I can win them or not. We are losing a lot of troops, and so there is some kind of mutual attrition going on. Luckily, I'll be able to stow all these knights back in the castle. Once we're done with all this, we'll go grab some Huskarls, and then we'll knock over, like, Tulbuck or something. Just so long as they don't hit Tulga or anything. I just want to make sure that none of these lords are able to rally to any specific point. I want to make sure that they remain unamassed. Oh, this is such a terrible idea against Nords. I don't even know what happened right there. It said I took damage, or it said the horse took damage, but my guy flinched, I think. I don't know, that was weird. It's a strange situation. Been on the horse so long that we share a nervous system at this point. When he gets hit, I feel it. That's how good of friends we are. Born into the saddle. I don't think I fought any infantry battles in this game. I think I've only fought like 1 when my horse got killed. I don't know, we've got such a huge... We've got a really, really huge history now at this point. This series has been going for a long time. I think I've got about 50 hours of gameplay now. It's like, wow, that is a lot of Mountain Blade. That is a ton of Mountain Blade. But then again, it's been fun the entire time too. I don't know what it is about this game, but just like playing the same battles over and over again, it's entertaining to me. I think I load up at least 3 times a year. I load up Mountain Blade and I run a campaign through a different mod if I get bored with that. Usually I'll run vanilla for an hour or 2 just to get like rewarmed up. And then typically I install Florist. That's like my go-to mod, is I almost always install Florist. Brittenwalda, I've already cleared like a major campaign with, so I don't tend to play Brittenwalda very often anymore, even though it is my favorite. Brittenwalda, you have to play a bit differently though, because Brittenwalda is an infantry mod, so there aren't very many horses in it. I think only 1 or 2 factions actually have horses in Brittenwalda. So there are slingers, however, which are really, really cool. Got some freebie gear here. Nothing that's looking beautiful, though. I think we're just about kind of loaded up on everything that we would want to get done before we got the hell on out of here. I'm going to see if I can ride him down before he gets back to the castle. I did indeed. I think this is probably going to be our last battle of the day, and then in the next episode, in between here and there, what I'll try and do is I'll try and go get my siege army, which is just Huskarls and sharpshooters, and what we'll try and do there is we'll try and take Tolbuck in the next episode. If we could take Tolbuck in the next episode, and then shortly thereafter we could take one of the castles down in the southeast, if we could do 2 castles in 1 episode, that'll leave us open in the final episode to wipe out the Khergit Khanate entirely. It'll disperse them to the wind, and we'll no longer have to deal with them. Now, that will open up a new range of problems. I think... Oh, damn it. Little javelin-throwing bastards. I tried to jump into them and we ended up just kind of crushing into the side. I hope that in Bannerlord they also add the physics for the horses, so like if your horse is at a sideways velocity and you hit another horse in the side, it rams them and like knocks them over, so it doesn't just like deal damage, it actually knocks the horse over as well, as though he was impacted by a couple 100 pounds of other horse flesh. Might be kind of cool. Losing veterans in here, but luckily they aren't mine because I don't recognize any of those units from my own grouping. I think those are all from the guys that jumped in on the battle along the sides. I timed that swing wrong, which is why I didn't kill that guy. We haven't leveled up in a really long time either. We should probably take a look and see how much XP we have to go. It's gotta be... Ooh, they got a bunch of archers over here, so that would explain it too, as we're getting machine gunned by master archers over here. Sharpshooters. Guys with huge health pools and the ability to sling arrow like very few others. I never knew how good this unit was until I played this campaign, actually. I don't think I've ever used Vaegir sharpshooters until this campaign, in which I really actually came to like them. I mean, they're still a little bit weak against armor. That's the one thing that I would complain about with them, is they're very, very weak to heavily armored units. So, for example, against knights and against Huskarls, they have trouble dealing more than 8 to 10 damage at a time. But they fire so quickly, and every time your guys flinch, they lose a little bit of ground, so they're great for sieges. I mean, holding off the enemy... They're fantastic because they cause the enemy to flinch, which then leaves them open to the guys on the bridge swinging. It's just, they're butcher machines. I think I like Rodok sharpshooters and Swadian sharpshooters better as ranged units right now, just because of the kill potential. I would rather have a unit one-shot an enemy than hit him 50 times and then finally kill him, because you run the risk of running out of ammo. And then the other side of that is your crossbowmen do a lot more damage to shields, which is the other side of the equation, where I very much prefer that for sieges you get the shields of the enemy destroyed before you do anything else, because it's really, really hard to break through a shield wall while you're riding up one of those lamps, or riding up one of those ramps. I said the completely and total wrong word right there. I'm going to break off the episode right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Mount & Blade Warband. In between here and there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my siege armor. We're going to come back. I'm going to call the campaign, and hopefully we can wipe out Tolbuck in the next episode. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'll try and keep an eye on any of the independent variables that I didn't notice along the way, but thank you for joining me here. I will see you tomorrow. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do.